to the farmer's market. This is a Saturday morning and it's bustling and busy. But you know what? We're not doing garden vegetables or animals on the hoof. We are doing fish. And because these are North Carolina fish, that's why we can sell them here at the market. So I have the fishmongers right here, Stacy and Rodney, and help me with the last name.
Roden.
Roden, there we go. We didn't even get into last names. I just know they're wonderful product. Stacy is the entrepreneur.
Nice.
And Rodney is the fisherman. But now, Rodney, I do have a question. What does fishmonger mean?
It's like your butcher.
Okay.
So monger comes from, I guess, historically cheese. Your cheesemonger.
Okay.
It's more about knowledge and just a little less of the butchery skills and more of the knowledge and information.
Your product.
Of the product.
Well, he can talk on, and I may have to do this for him.
Yes, you will.
But how did you all get involved in all of this?
Stacy and I came from the hospitality industry. I was her boss for a brief moment, and she's been my boss the rest of the time.
Okay.
And when we moved to the area, we fell in love with seafood and the farmers market. So we left that career and started doing farmers markets, bringing local fish to other markets around the area, and then helped some friends of ours open a brick and mortar down in Gastonia.
Okay.
And then once it was up and running, we joined our friend, the pioneer of Charlotte Fish Company, Tim Griner, who captains the Mariner out of Sneads Ferry, to be that distribution leg to bring that fish back into the inland, to the Shelby area, Cleveland County, Mecklenburg,
yes.
even York down in South Carolina. So,
Well, I do know you're a chef as well.
mentally retired.
Well, yes, but if the need arises, you'll be able to help.
I can help.
Well, so tell us about fishing exactly. You go to the coast once a week?
Whenever we're a 30-foot vessel, so it's super weather dependent.
So 1 or 2 times a week.
Yeah, so it could be twice a week, it could be every other week, but our commitment is not only for our vessel, but the men and women that fish in our neighborhood. North Carolina is one of those rarities that is still independently owned and operated by
Right.
small family-owned fisheries, which is so much vastly different than a lot of our seafood in the U.S. Completely different than global seafood, which is all conglomerately owned. So our support, it's essentially cooperative. Imagine, cattle farm here, cattle farm there, and one person who is also a cattle farmer helping bring their wares to market, their product to market.
Right.
So the Davis family, 5th generation shrimpers, Randy Batts, 70-year-old diver, and Roger Austin, who man our boat. And we want their product to bring top dollar. We will look a little expensive, and I promise that's only because that money stays in the community of Sneads Ferry. It also stays in the community of Shelby and Cleveland County,
Yes.
and because that's our commitment. We're only the vessel to get that animal to market here because it's hugely important to us.
All right. Well, I think our audience would like to know what kind of products do you have?
Just like tomatoes, we are super seasonal in what we're going to have. Just like
Okay,
vegetables.
of course.
We were going down in hopes of the sea mullet run, which is unheard of here in town. But we want to start bringing things like that to market.
Sure.
But with the weather the way it is, folks pull their nets. So we all targeted king mackerel, and that's what we have. We want to introduce fish that is less utilized in our food systems, because that's where the support comes from. We target highly recognizable fish like groupers and snappers.
Well, any final words, Rodney?
We're honored to be here. I know that this was a a little outside of the normal scope of Shelby Farmers Market, thanks to the board, thanks to the management, thanks to the people of Shelby for allowing us to bring that here. Unfortunately, the ocean does not lap up against Shelby
Well,
coast.
but that's okay. Then we can take vacations to the coast, and we're close to the mountains.
Exactly.
And you bring the ocean to us.
So eat like you're on vacation.
Ah,
Yes.
very good. Well, thank you for watching Cleveland County. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking with Nancy Abassier-Kong about why all the benefits for eating fish.
Find your voice at the Cleveland Community College Summer Broadcasting Camp. Do you have something to say on air? Learn the skills to produce your own podcast. Own your vision and produce your own YouTube channel. Discover the magic of chroma key and be a part of producing and directing a C19 TV show. Keep your focus at the Cleveland Community College Summer Broadcasting Camp, June 27th through 30th. Call Continuing Education at 704-669-4015.
Hey everyone, I'm Tim Wisher, welding instructor at Cleveland Community College, and today I'd like to take a little time and tell you about what we do here. Welders are in demand. We offer a certificate program and we offer a diploma program. It takes about a year to come through our program. We offer morning and evening classes here at CCC. We have the lowest student to instructor ratio in the state. We do real life simulation. We do API 1104 downhill pipe welding. We also do D11 structural steel code and ASME welding as well. We have AWS certified welding inspectors on staff. If you want to learn more about our welding program, you can give me a call directly at 704-669-4077 or on the community college website at clevelandcc.edu.
Welcome, Cleveland County, to the next edition of Cleveland County Kitchen. I'm your host, Deborah Blanton, and I am here today, as always, pretty much always, Nancy Abassier-Kong, who finally wore a shirt that told me what she does. She is the Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences program at Cooperative Extension.
Yes.
So glad to have you, Nancy.
Thank you.
And we are going to talk about bringing the ocean and its contents to Cleveland County. We have some growers, as you already know, and have met. Stacy and Rodney, I believe is their name. And we have shown pictures of their fish. They are bringing to us, and we will be cooking today with we're hoping with Tommy Green, who is our amazing chef, a piece of king mackerel, which evidently, Nancy, is a huge fish.
Yes.
So let's talk about, if you can be specific about king mackerel, if not, be general about fish. And then we'll also talk about what else they have at the farm, what the Stacy and Rodney bring to the farmers market.
Okay. Well, Deborah, it is good to be with you again today, and certainly exciting that we can talk about fresh fish and fish and other seafood products that come to us right from the ocean. So that's a plus for our farmers market and for the business there, and we appreciate that. Seafood is it's a part of a healthy diet, and the American Heart Association recommends that all of us eat seafood 2 to 3 times a week. And we know that we get a lot of nutrients. It's a good, lean protein source, good quality protein, and mackerel, king mackerel, which king mackerel is just one of the species or varieties of mackerel. There are other Spanish, there are other types, but it is high. All fish and seafood are high in omega-3 fatty acids, which is a nutrient that our bodies do not make. So we have to get that
That's a good point.
from our food source, from the
point.
food that we eat. So, and of course, we already have talked about nutrient-dense foods over our time together, whether we're talking about vegetables or fruits. The same applies here with proteins. So lots of nutrients, vitamins, and so forth here.
Right. And this we can include shrimp, which they have,
Yes.
and oysters, and
Scallops.
scallops. Yes, yes, yes. They provide all of that here at the farmers market. Of course, keeping in mind that they bring to the farmers market whatever is running, swimming that
Right.
day when they're down at the coast.
So that will certainly be a seasonal product. You know, a lot of our talk on Cleveland County Kitchen, we have clued in to the seasons.
Correct.
And the same here applies with our fish or with seafood.
But it would be the
And-
types of fish.
Yes.
Because fish,
all the time.
All the time.
Right,
Right.
But different varieties.
Correct.
And so forth. So yeah,
Correct.
and again, variety is part of what we stress with everything, whatever you're eating. We're looking for variety to get different nutrients. And with seafood, king mackerel is one of the types of fish that has a higher mercury level. So
Oh,
you
so
wouldn't eat
that's
an unlimited.
not so good.
Well, no, that's right. That's a factor that we'll need to watch. You wouldn't eat unlimited amounts of that.
I see.
So you would eat something else. You would eat king mackerel, swordfish. You know, there's several in that group.
Good.
of
That's a
high-
good point, Nancy.
Higher in mercury.
Yes.
But seafood in general, whether it's fish or scallops or whatever, we still have lots of other options. Now, when you're preparing seafood and fish, because of that mercury level, and sometimes you won't know, you can remove the fat, remove any visible fat, but also remove the skin
Oh,
before you prepare it.
good point, Nancy.
Or if you want to prepare it with the skin on, because again you would get some flavor there.
Right.
Then you could remove the skin before you ate it.
Good point.
Or the other thing is often we use the drippings from a meat or fish or something. You would not make a gravy with the drippings from those types of fish that are higher in mercury.
Yes, and that's just
So-
because, well, king mackerel is a fattier fish. Am I correct?
Right, it is a fatty fish, and all of these are, salmon is classified also as a fatty fish.
Well, folks, thank you for watching this part of the show. Hope it was entertaining, besides always educational. And then stay tuned. Somebody is going to cook our king mackerel. We hope it's Tommy Green, but if not, they'll do the same good job. Stand by.
COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Millions of doses have already been given in the United States, and these vaccines have the most intensive safety monitoring in U.S. history. If you have questions, get answers from a reliable source. CDC.gov.
Listen up. Do you have a passion for cooking? A desire to learn more about the craft of professional food preparation? If so, now's a great time to check out Cleveland Community College's brand new Culinary Arts Academy. This exciting 3-month program offers hands-on training for jobs in the food service industry. Across the nation, food service is one of the fastest growing industries. With your training at CCC's Culinary Arts Academy, you can compete for jobs in hotels, restaurants, conference centers, cruise ships, and other settings. Enroll in CCC's program and you'll gain in-depth training in food procedures, preparation, and commercial kitchen operations. Plus, the program includes a special add-on. you'll get your certificate in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR training. You can earn good money too. Depending on where you work, starting salaries range from $20,000 to $50,000. In just 12 weeks, you can be well on your way to gaining the know-how to handle food safely, properly, as a true professional. Now ask yourself, are you ready to start your journey today at CCC?
Hi, Cleveland County, back again with the fish guy. Now, can you believe this? He catches it, he sells it, and then he's going to cook it. We've not had many of those.
Oh, excellent.
I want you to know that, Rodney. Rodney Roden.
Yes.
And he brought with him Wade Bishop. Bishop is also a chef in the Charlotte area. And so Bishop came to help us set up and get everything organized. But we've got, Rodney is a chef by, we can say, profession, among other professions.
Mentally retired.
Yeah, okay, but we're going to exhibit it here today, though.
Exactly.
But he also catches the fish, remember? So we have our king mackerel, Rodney.
That's right.
And let's talk about a little bit that it is a fattier fish, and maybe some of the reasons that that's a good thing for us consumers.
Absolutely. I call it North Carolina's favorite fish. This is the most by weight fish caught off of North Carolina. Unfortunately, a lot of it goes to Canada, Asia, New York, and other markets because it's not as familiar to folks like our groupers, our snappers, our flounders. You know, folks really gravitate toward those.
So, but it is fattier, but that means it's almost better because it has a lot of omega-3s and all that.
That's right. It's an oilier species, which translates to silky. We try
that
to take,
sounds good.
We try to take the fatty and the oily, what they've been described for years, and say what it is: silky, luxurious. Just has this really nice mouthfeel.
Right.
They're predatory and opportunistic eaters, so they eat a varied diet where a lot of fish only.
So that means it makes it good for us.
That's correct.
All right. So Rodney, we're going to be cooking. Besides king mackerel, we have some little side veggies.
That's right. These are some storage products, storage veggies from Cleveland County, Old North Farm, that we were able to put up at their last harvest.
Okay.
And their last. This is typically your root cellar varieties, root vegetables, carrots, beets, a little bit of fresh thyme. We don't want to waste anything, so we save some of the greens from the beets.
Oh, good.
And a little non-native orange there.
Right. And we've got garlic and some other things.
Some green onions, good butter.
Okay, so let's get with it, Rodney. We've got 10 minutes, guy.
So today we're going to do a barbecue rub. We started influencing folks to use their favorite barbecue rub. Johnny Ray's is a good one here in Cleveland County for your fish.
That's the Honey Hog up Highway 18 in Falston.
So we just rub that liberally on the king mackerel
with salt and pepper.
And we're cooking today in peanut oil. Peanut oil has a really high smoke point, and you can get a lot of that locally as well. So once we get that, this is what we call the flesh side and the down and the skin
Now,
side.
he has already skinned it. I saw him do that in preparation for this.
Yes, because this is going to be a braised or a one-pan pickup.
Right.
I wanted to take the skin away because I'm not going to crisp it like I would with some of our other species.
Okay.
So
you grind your pepper. Isn't that the coolest pepper mill here?
Used to have a little holster with it and a little bit more of our barbecue rub.
Okay.
Liberally. There's no salt in this rub.
That's good.
But just use your favorite.
Now, and tap this.
We're going to tap it just to make sure that we're getting an even sear all the way around.
And Bishop pointed that out because we've already done another one before this.
Yeah.
And he said, see what he's doing here? So I'd never heard that before.
So with this, we're getting mackerels, other fish. We like to say salt makes sweet. So ocean-going fish, saltwater fish, they build this fat to protect them against cold water.
Right.
Called glycine. Glycine is a line of sugars that create a fat, much like in me. But that's where you get this really sweet. So Without any other breading or crust, we're going to get this really nice crispy crunch because of all those sugars rushing to the edges and caramelizing.
Okay,
so
great.
that's what I
great.
love about fish. You get it with your pork chops, but you can't, sometimes. But it's got to be a really good fish to do so. And with that, we're going to let that sear. And in cooking fish, we always say, if it stays, it stays. Meaning that once you start to sear and it doesn't move, you leave it alone until those sugars will caramelize. The oils from the fish will come on down and release it from there when you start to
So
get
this is a technique then. If
That's
it
right.
still shakes, it's not ready.
That's right. Well, if it sticks to the pan, don't worry about that.
Okay.
So too many times you want to get your spatula and start
Gotcha.
grinding up
Gotcha.
underneath it.
And you're
to
not
get it
supposed to
release.
do that.
Just let it go. Let
Okay.
it release.
Also, the oils. We've talked about oils before. You're using, is it?
Peanut.
Peanut oil. I heard here in the discussion prior to this that you don't ever cook with olive oil.
That's-
Salads and whatever else
That's
you do.
marinades,
Marinade. You don't cook with
vinaigrettes.
olive oil. That is news to me, folks.
Well,
so,
peanut oil has a really high smoke point. You can get that
Okay.
with canola oil. You can get that with cold pressed pecan oils. You can get a lot of tree nut oils that will give you that almond
okay.
oil.
You all
walnut
mentioned
oil,
avocado too.
avocado.
Oh, that's
they all
great.
have that 450 degree plus cooking
Right.
smoke point. That way they don't burn. If you've ever sauteed something and it looks beautiful but it has a little bit of a bitter taste,
That was
you've
that
burned
was
your
probably
oil.
cooked in olive oil,
That's
and
right.
it was burned.
That's right.
Well, I've learned a lot.
So we're going to just check that, see where we
Okay,
want. I
can,
want
can
to
you show that to the camera?
Yeah, I'm looking
a little
for
bit
just a
right
little
there.
bit
Good
more.
deal. A little bit more browning.
And
Okay.
we're going to do what
Now-
we call this one pan pickup. So one thing about cooking, you want to enjoy it more than you clean up after it.
Right,
So
exactly.
We've dirtied this board and we've got one pan. We're going to sear this fish until it gets this really nice color. And then we're going to pick it up, set it aside for just a moment. We're going to mix in our beets, our carrots, our green onion, thyme,
Into that.
garlic, into that oil.
Into that oil.
That
okay.
way that fish oil becomes part of the entire dish.
Got it.
Those flavors
Oh, sure
go
enough.
all the way
Yeah.
through. It's just
Okay.
like cooking chicken and dumplings. You want that chicken flavor to go into those dumplings.
Right.
Well, we want this fish
Right,
flavor to go
right.
into these nice vegetables.
Okay, good.
We're going to finish that with a little bit of Worcestershire, sorghum, and orange, and fresh thyme right at the end
Okay.
to kind of bring all that together.
All right. So we're going to turn. Okay.
That's the color I'm
all right.
looking
well, that's
for.
good. That's good.
So with that, I'm going to add my chopped beets.
And this is Jamie Swafford.
Yeah, Old North Farm.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Jamie Swafford was the very first chef on the very first Cleveland County Kitchen
Really?
Show. He made
Really?
sweet potato pie. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Now, and I also asked you to demo the thyme, how you're doing the thyme.
yeah, yeah.
How you strip it off the
we had
stem.
we had Julie in, and she said that drives her crazy because she grows fresh thyme, but it always breaks on her. And what I wanted to tell her, and what I did tell her, was you don't have to squeeze it hard. Just a couple
but
of
now,
passes,
is this
just-
dried?
This is fresh.
Fresh.
This is fresh.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob Engel.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
But
okay.
I just told her, you don't have to pinch it hard. Yeah, where it breaks, that's really soft. So that can
that you
dice
could
right
be
up.
add to it.
That's
Okay.
right. And this goes in your soup pot. This goes in your stock pot with your onion ends, with your celery roots,
Right,
things like that.
right.
Your chicken bones, your fish bones, your shrimp shells for making stock later on.
And speaking of fish bones, King Mackerel
Yeah.
has little shin bones. What do they call
Pin
them?
bones.
Well, I was close.
Right there at it.
Pin bones.
So the pin bone is what connects the fillet to the rib. And while we process, we come right through that. Now, the piece that we have working for TV Magic underneath,
right.
we leave the pin bones in because we're transporting from, from the Charlotte area to Shelby. And if I remove those, if I cut those out, it kind of wants to tear. in
Okay,
transport.
okay.
But we leave them in. We cook with them in. Some of the smaller fish like flounder or black sea bass, we will we'll advise to V-cut those out before
Right.
cooking. But the larger fish like mackerels, we'll leave those because they're very prevalent. There's no danger of
You
of
swallowing one, but keep in mind, there are bones in fish.
That's right, and chickens and cows and all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah, those are a little more visible.
They are more visible.
Little,
but,
we can see them better.
growing up, that was the most dangerous thing on the plate was a piece of fish.
Okay.
Sure, they'd send us out with kerosene and bottle rockets, but we had to have supervision when we ate fish.
Good deal.
So
Okay,
I'm
now.
just finishing the vegetables that are all lined up around
Okay.
around this. We're doing we're going to finish this in the oven. I've got some sorghum from up the hill.
Okay, and of course I told you we have sorghum farmers here in Cleveland County.
Which I'm running low, so I'm
Mhm.
super
Oh,
excited
yes,
to learn
good,
this.
good, good,
We're doing
good.
just a little bit of orange juice.
Squeeze an onion, listen to me, an orange.
And you can
Wow.
do lemon, lime, whatever your preference on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then a little drizzle of some good Worcestershire.
Okay.
Lee and Perrins, anything that still uses anchovy in the process of making Worcestershire, that's
Okay.
the best you can find. And then
Now,
just a little
you
splash
have
of broth.
a little, that's beef broth.
It
Would
is.
veggie broth do just as well?
Veggie broth would be excellent.
Okay,
excellent.
good, good,
I
good.
use this beef broth because it's not a stock. As this reduces down, the gelatin and
Right.
that's from the bones will help kind of stiffen that set for me. So it
Okay.
will become a little more, a little easier to work with.
Okay.
So all of that
So
goes.
this is going to go in here, and then we prep this.
Uh-huh.
We prep this, so here we go, okay.
And then this would be, if I had a family of 4, if this was Stacy and I eating this, that's probably plenty for us because we're going to have a nice salad, all your beets and carrots kind of cooked away in this larger pan. But that would be plenty for us. If I was cooking for a family
did
of
you turn
4,
that off? Woo-hoo.
family of
Good
4,
deal.
I would certainly use twice that much fish, and then
And twice that much
twice that much
vegetables.
vegetables. Absolutely. But
And see, I would like bigger vegetables.
Of course, of
you know,
course.
Bishop was over here.
and we did that.
And I'm
so
thinking
that-
bigger vegetables,
And we
guys.
did that so-
Oh, and here he's pulling out the bones.
Yeah, and super
Oh,
easy.
look
So
at that
they
paper
are-
towel, Bishop.
So they are.
You're right there
quite
where we
prevalent.
need you. Whoa.
So there's no
Thank you, sir.
no
Here we
danger
go.
of eating those.
Because I don't want those in our serving thing right there. Whew. Perfect. Now, and you call those
Pin bones.
pin bones.
They connect the fillet.
And there is a split right here, and I can see why they would hold it together.
That's right. And just like cooking chickens or cows
Wow.
or pigs, you cook something with the bone. Those bones just imparted so much moisture and flavor.
And flavor
into
to
that
the
small
meat.
area.
Sure enough.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, now, what
So
you had
again-
butter there. What are we doing with that?
What we would do if I were to finish this?
Well,
I would pull this
let's
out.
do it because we're gonna have lunch afterward. So,
So
okay.
that's what we leave the pin bones
Okay.
in because they just
All
fall
right.
apart.
All
You're
right,
looking
good.
you're looking for this nice open flake. Once it's there, that's
well, I don't know
done.
that the camera can see that.
Right.
There
But,
we go. Nice
you know,
open flake. Okay.
Just don't
All
want
right,
folks
now,
to be intimidated.
All right, now, tell us what you're going to do because we don't have time. We're about
fine.
out of time. So
Just
you're
put
going to
butter
add
in.
the butter.
That's it.
Oh, well, that's it.
Just to soak it.
Oh, okay.
Kind of off the heat.
Great.
Cold butter just pulls it all together.
Great. All right. Well, Rodney, I mean, this has just so quickly gone by. Thank you so
course,
much. I
of
hope you had a
course.
good time. Thank you too, Bishop, for coming. And wow, we're done. Happy fish. And what do you always like to say to close the show?
Oh, eat like you're on vacation.
There we go. Bye.